Hello everyone, and welcome to the STC Ultimate Ascension Reborn 2026 tournament. I'm here commentating a round 1 match, our final round 1 match in Vegeta versus Max. So yeah, this is going to be an exciting match, albeit it is a little one-sided in terms of, these players, but I still think it'll be an interesting match. We have some very, very high-stakes bets, as in there's a lot of tokens being placed into them. So we'll have fun, and I will apologize in advance if I sound a little off or I cough. I am pretty sick right now, but hopefully that won't take away from the commentary. Ooh, in practice 1 there, we already see Max tying Veg IGT, and it's important to note Max will be playing in R6 and in Skipless. He's not forcing Veg to play in either of those, so we'll be seeing Veg take Arthro Skipless, while Max just takes R6 Skipless. So sorry, I don't know if I said that wrong, but that alone will kind of put Veg at a huge advantage and kind of will, I think, take away from some of the excitement in this match. But I think Veg going for skips actually might favor Max a little bit, as, Veg has a chance to mess those skips up, and that's where Max's opportunity will come in. But I will lock these poles. So 2,900 tokens on Veg winning, 130 tokens on Max winning. So huge disparity there. We're now heading on to round 1. Good luck to them both. Yeah. I do expect Veg to take this pretty handily, especially with his Arthro. I mean, also, it is important to note that Veg does have the big ping advantage here. Max is in the UK. We're in a US server. Veg falls for round 1. Veg definitely... It is important to note that Veg does not have the best history of tournament performance. It is kind of a meme in the community. I hate this game. And the choke against Icy Man. And there's just so many that I could list off. And obviously, that's not... Not all of them are entirely Veg's fault. But it is just something to know. I think that's something he's thinking about here. I'm sure. And we all know how good of a player Veg is. We all want to see him perform well in tournaments. So hopefully that mistake there will not spiral. But it's definitely possible. Many, many tokens are placed on whether if Veg will sweep or not. So if Max even takes one map, that'll be a huge, huge upset. And honestly, I could very, very well see Max taking a map, Sweeps aren't super common in today's day and age. Veg turns it up a notch here for round 2, getting a 22. It is kind of interesting that Laser Tag is actually one of Veg's worst skipless maps. He struggles to get 22-8s on the regular. Doesn't have 22-7 WR. So kind of an unfortunate pick of a map for him. But he should be A-okay if he can perform well. Round 3. Oh. Yeah, just looking at how clean Veg is playing, I do think that one death was just kind of a fluke. That happens, and I'm glad he's able to recover from it. Big lead over here. Ooh, same exact times though. That did look like a bigger gap than the previous run, but ended the same. And again, I have gone 0 for 4 for telling people to record here. That's definitely on me. I should probably stop assuming that people are recording. You never know. I don't think Veg really needs recording. I think this is an Ashburn server, which he gets great pinging, but of course it's just always nice to have. I'm sure he is, though. I think Veg's responsible in that way. Ooh, 23-0 for Max. We'll bring him in slightly closer. Veg finishes out a 22-9 average. Is that good? Question mark. Round 5 here. I think both of them are just going to have to go all out. Maybe Vega to 22-8 or Max get another 23-0 IGT. Max in quals was a completely completely deathless player. He is one of the most consistent players in the game, so DNFs aren't really something he should be worrying about at all. Alright. Oh, God. Alright, we are now heading on to map 2, Northern Cliffs. Now, this is a map where Veg will be performing a skip on. He'll be going for double M9, where Max is only gonna go for skipless, I believe. Maybe one M9, I'm not sure, but definitely will not compare to Veg strats. Yeah, Max is going skipless. I think Veg is skilled enough at the skip to where he will be able to get 3 runs in. He is a 6.0 former world record holder, 2nd in the world. He is about as good in this map as you can get as a player. Whereas Max, I don't even, to be honest, I think Veg is just good enough at the skip to even where I think even if Max were to go for skip, I just see very, very little chance that he would win that. But of course, anything can happen. But what is a bit unfortunate is I don't think Max even knows the skipless route. The skip route at all. So he doesn't really have the chance to throw a couple skip attempts after he gets a skipless average. Yeah, you can see Veg just is gonna hit that every time. Sub 7. I don't know if we're on tournament world record watch. We could possibly be with a really nice run from Veg. But yeah, even with weird mistakes like that, Veg will still crush Max's times. Veg's gonna be taking a lot of lives in practice here. Oh, that might be a DQ. That's what Max is gonna have to pray for in rounds here. I just round 1. Alright. Let's see if Veg can start off strong, unlike laser tag. Should be clean. That will be a 6. Max fumbles. His first ever official STC mistake. Which is kind of crazy. For a 17-6. Yeah, that is exactly what Veg's hoping for, and to be honest, there is a very, very small path for him to lose Northern Cliffs now. Very narrow. Ooh, ooh. Okay, the M9's not perfect, but again, it'll be sub skipless by a mile. Max, another not solid run. 14-9 is definitely not what he's looking for. Yeah, Veg is already just 1 run away from putting it away. Ooh. If I were Max, I would try skip. I just don't think he will, though. I don't think he has that in his bag. In his arsenal, if he must. No, he doesn't. And Veg will do it. With a 6.9. I don't think Max can bring it back at this point, but we'll see. Maybe one of Veg's rounds was an unsuspecting DQ or something, you know? Things like that are really, really common in tournaments. Especially on a map like Northern, where it's very possible to flick up unintentionally. Ooh. Veg still will improve his average with this, though. 10.0, just getting the kick time. Yeah, those who are betting Veg to win, this is kind of the path that you are hoping for. Round 5. Let's see if I can get a 6-second average here. Ooh, he will. Wow. A 6.6. Very solid to end out. Max also getting his best time on the 5th with a 13.8. Yeah, that will be a massive win for Veg on map 2 Northern Cliffs, but Ancient Tomb, again, one of Veg's weaker maps, like laser tag. You know, this map, not that Veg's like specifically bad at it, it's just not something that is really Veg's strong suit. This is exactly what I mean, he's not making any progress on the map yet. Veg is having lag issues. We'll see if we'll give Veg a redo for practice 1 here. I did. Veg's having strong internet issues. Alright. I'm just gonna give them both a P1 again. Max did DNF. I don't know if that was intentional or if because he saw Veg like in the lobby or whatever. I'll just let them both take another practice round. Ooh. I'm sorry, I was looking at General. I didn't quite see what happened to Veg there, and he's behind Max in terms of time here. We'll make it up though. But yeah, Veg a 34.9. It is important to note there is a bet here on Ancient Tomb winning average over under 33.8. So that sounds like a very doable time, but that's just one mistake being counted that might throw that on the over. So I do think that'll be a good line. Veg obviously getting a 34.9 in practice is not living up to that standard. However, does still beat Max's 35.1. This map is specifically annoying in R6, so I don't fault Max at all for that. What? Veg is trying some weird safety strats that it's just not. He's doing too much to the point where it's just not faster than just slope sealing or just not even attempting PDJ. Yeah, a 33.9 still won't live up to 33.8. So that line might be a little harder than you might think at first glance. But we'll now be heading on to round 1. Alright, round 1. Honestly, my biggest question to see is to see, you know, how much time will Max lose due to just dumb R6 mistakes that he can't even like control. Like stuff like that honestly isn't even that bad in R6. It's Veg's weird route is gonna let Max catch up a little bit though. Oh, bonks, but didn't slide. Veg's on a solid run here. Oh, and Max fails the long jump. Oh, a 33-3 from Veg. A 33-3 from Veg is much under the 33-8 bar, so kind of picking it up in rounds. We'll still finish this out for practice, just a safety of DNF. Safety against the DNF, which is definitely possible in Agent 2, so good play from him there. Alright, round 2. And yeah, that death there in Agent 2 was Max's first death, so his consistency is kind of falling a little bit on these trickier maps. Obviously, the maps in quals are very, very consistent, and while he was the only person to go through a deathless, it's not super, super difficult, but a map like Tomb, you're just not going to be able to do Miss Deathless, really. Yeah, especially in an avatar like R6. Fake safetying that wasn't that bad, though. That's exactly what he needs to do. Ooh. Ooh. Still will be sub 33-8, though. 33-5. Max starting out with 2 mistakes, though. Not looking good for him, so Veg just needs to finish out one more solid. That will be wraps for Ancient Tomb. Alright, round 3 for Ancient Tomb. Veg has a chance to win this match at IGT as quickly as possible. Obviously, was a little nerve-wracking round 1 of map 1 with the mistake, but he's been able to claw back really, really nicely. Max is just so hard to play. Definitely a rough round 1 map. And Veg will cash the under 33-8 with a 33-1. Very, very solid time from him. I'm not sure what his PB is, but that is definitely close. Max, I believe, with a 34-9. Honestly, solid time for R6. It's just what he needs to do, but I mean, when you're in R6 on Tomb, you're not going to be getting times like 33-1, so not much he can do there. See if I can improve his average slightly. Not much left for him on Ancient Tomb to really do. Just going to be going for times. Oh, he fails. Doesn't matter too hard. Max will win this round with 34. Yeah, another 34-9 from him. Taking one off Egg. Obviously, Veg probably not too worried anymore. IGT 3-0 win. But let's not forget that Laser Tag was a very close map. And I'm not 100% sure on Veg's ability to 24-8, 22-8 consistently. So that could possibly be a tie, Laser Tag, if everything goes right for Max. Oh no. Round 5. Max looking to get in a solid average at least, maybe just for mental reasons before heading on to the last 2 maps. And he's, oh no. Yeah, that's wraps on Ancient Tomb. He DNFs. Veg, another really solid run, and 33-2. I think that is a much better average than anyone was expecting Veg to get, in my opinion. Yeah. Alright. We will now be heading on to map 4 Dunes. Another movement map that I think Veg is capable enough on to beat an R6 player. But this is a more simple skipples map. It's like laser tag, where if Max gets really solid runs, Veg just kind of safety's a bit too hard. It could definitely be a conversation, you know, 32-7's about there. But I do trust Veg's ability to get 32-6 on the regular, especially if he goes for stuff like these slope jumps and walk-offs. He should be getting 32-6 at least every time. But if he fails one of these walk-offs, that could easily cast Doom on him. Yeah, Vag 32-7, tying the R6 world record. Not much you can do at that point. And honestly, unlike other matches that Vegas played, I'm starting to trust his consistency more. And I don't know if that's purely a mentality thing. I don't know or what caused that change. I honestly think it was just a style of play change. I think that as, you know, the race for champion gets more and more intense, gets harder by the day, I think you have to become a more consistent player. You can't bank on just hitting a lucky skip once every hour. You can't do that anymore. You have to actually be able to consistently perform runs. And I think Veg has adapted to that shift very, very well. And we've been able to see that in this tournament match. We'll see how he performs here in round 1, but based on what we've seen in practice, should be a-okay. Now, we did see in round 2, Veg actually did mess up the ending, which is a very, very crucial part of Dunes. So I am curious if he'll make a mistake like that again. It's not something that's going to cause a death, but will slow you down. And Veg, honestly, not on the perfect run here. Max is actually holding his own. Not too big of a gap. This could be a 32-8 from Veg. No, 32-7, 33-0. I think Veg knows at this point in the match that he just needs to finish out kind of just whatever, and he should be good to win. But, you know, sometimes that mentality can come back to bite you. Like, you can safety too hard, you can just be reckless and just make dumb mistakes, so hopefully he doesn't make any of those blunders. He shouldn't, though. Yeah, I think better run here than round 1, Veg. Definitely increasing the gap! This is exactly what I mean! Veg, a mistake on round 2. Just doesn't jump high enough, takes that jump a little bit too tight. Max, another solid 33-0. Veg. Just finishing this out, not taking the DNF. And honestly, mistakes like that can get really, really worrying, but on a map like Dunes, I don't see it affecting Veg in the long term. I think that was just kind of a moment where he can say, oh, I should probably take that a little less tight, and I should be good. I don't think it's anything to be too nervous about at all. Round 3. However, if another mistake like that happens, that's where the nerves set in. Veg has yet to be at a point in this match where he has 2 mistakes. He's been super solid throughout this match. He hasn't put himself in any situations where, you know, a tunnel might even have been dug. Yeah, he is gonna 32.7 at least again here, maybe even a 0.6. Now 32.7. Max a little slower with a 33.1, but staying consistent yet again. Veg just needs to finish one of these next 2 in his standard 32.7 fashion. Should be good to go. Round 4. Max has already basically maxed out his average. I don't see him getting the 32.9 IGT unless something crazy happens. But, I mean, you never know. I think he is taking his lines a little less safe, so we might actually be seeing a sub 33 here. Veg just one straight away from locking in the win, more than likely on Dunes. Another 32.7. Veg more than likely has done it on Dunes yet again. I think we are witnessing a new era of Vegeta, the Cyan 8. He's been a champion contender for so many years, but hasn't really been able to pull it together in tournaments. But I do think, I mean, the times are changing. Definitely one of Veg's most solid performance, if not his most solid performance in tournament. And, you know, he's had some incidents where, you know, I know he casts a lot of self-doubt on himself after, you know, huge blunders, which obviously not something to be, like, excused, but I think it's something that we can all put in the past. Is like another 32.7. Max, another 33.0 will slightly improve his average. Maybe gives him a fighting chance with great touches. Oh gosh, and I almost missed the map. Practice 1, another map where Veg will be going for skips. He recently showed me this safety route that he plans to use in tournament. He's really, really consistent at it. So, yeah, I can get 13.4s easily. Max is going to be sticking with skipless. Obviously, Cosmic R6 skipless is another map where it kind of sucks in R6. I'm not going to be honest. It's kind of rough. Not as bad as something like Ancient Tomb, but not as smooth as a Dunes or a Laser Tag. Just a little bit finicky. So, it is kind of worthwhile to mention that Veg said he was going to safety. Probably isn't going to go for that route that he's practicing now, but I think his mind is changing. He's practicing this route and this route only. I would love to see him practice, you know, a little bit more of a safety just in case something ends up happening. No, he's going to finish this out for Aura, 13.3. I hope those finished practice runs don't end up biting him in the butt, but it might, as you never ever want to finish both your practice runs out immediately, especially if you're doing skip. That's just kind of a low IQ play. I don't think Veg is too worried about it obviously being up 4-0 IGT, but there is a bet on the line, so round 1, Veg does go for it, and he will. Wow, he hits all 3 every single time. A 13-3. Really, really solid from him there. Just, I believe that, you know, ties the world record for that route that he's doing, I think. So, getting 13-3 is great. 20.8 for Max does indicate a mistake. Yeah. Honestly, I was not expecting Veg to hit that immediately. He's gone 9 for 9. Wow. He's now 12 for 12 on these M9s. For 13-4, slightly slower. Max keeps having deaths. Obviously practiced this map quite a bit before tournament. Got a consistent route down, but it wasn't super fast. Obviously, an imperfect route is to be expected on Cosmic Cliffside. Max with 2 mistakes already. In just 2 rounds. I don't think as consistent of a performance as Max would have liked. But maybe he's not too worried about that after this match's outcome. Veg. Chance to go 15 for 15 here. Yes. I wonder if he will now go for even crazier, like an edge hit. He gets another 13-4, and Max is again at the start. Another death from him. He will count a 20 plus in his average. Yeah, he's gonna DNF. Super consistent from Veg here, honestly. And if I were Veg, you know, obviously a competitor playing an R6 skipless, not the strongest win, but at the end of the day, it's a win. And if I were Veg, I would be, you know, I would be very proud of myself for this win. You know, kind of knowing that you're always going to have a lot of expectations placed on you as, you know, you're a skip champ contender. He's been able to handle that really, really well in this match, as he goes 18 for 18 on the M9. For a 13-3. Not going for the edge hit like I predicted, though. Final run. Yeah. Huge GG's to Veg, man. I, for one, before this tournament even started, when we were still on the original Ultimate Ascension, I said, I want Veg to do really well in the next tournament because, you know, he's at that caliber of skill where he deserves to have good wins. Oh, Veg. There goes the M9 streak on round 5. Max might take this one. Max finishes out solid with 16-6, beating Veg 17-5. Well, huge GGs to both competitors, man. I mean, great performance on both ends. Super consistent from Veg. Honestly, super consistent from Max. Obviously, I think this should be a fight.